Underway, she hands over to Katja Haller, who's not having a bad week at all. Then Rezlerova for the Czech Republic. We've got Grzybek for Poland also on that first line. 20 teams in all, and we'll be going off very, very shortly. So away we go with the 7th race of the Biathlon World Championships for 2009. Pyeongchang in Korea, the host city for these events. And this is, for many of the fans, one of the favourites. The mixed relay, 2 women, 2 men, and Germany, the defending champions. Russia yet to get themselves a gold in these championships. They have put out an immensely strong team, and despite the fact that they've had 3 disqualified from racing, they still have the strongest team on paper with their rankings in the World Cup standings, 5th, 10th, 8th and 3rd. No other team can match that. But I think Germany will fancy their chances. They've got Mickey Grice on the anchor leg, which he's so experienced at. They've got Andrea Henkel leading the way, multiple champion Andrea Henkel, but she's not had a medal so far. 6th in the sprint, disqualified, as you'll know, from the pursuit for an error in training with a rifle where she had negligent discharge, and then Henkel finishing 10th yesterday in the women's individual. She'll be hungry for gold. There she is, settling in 2nd place. No surprise to see Svetlana Slepceva, 5th in the Women's World Cup rankings, leading the way, but her form has been poor. She hasn't coped well with the wind conditions here in Pyeongchang. 36th and 28th, her 2 results in the sprint and the pursuit, well below par for someone in the top 5 of the world rankings. Jonsson of Sweden settles into 3rd. Tora Berger, you can't miss her, in 4th in the red suit of Norway. The style, the technique, so distinct. So much in contrast to her brother, who takes leg 3. Both Bergers have medalled at these championships now. Tora Berger getting Norway's only medal in the women's events. They've pretty much cleaned up in the men's. Norway with 3 golds, all going to Bjorndalen, of course, in the men's events. Quite an extraordinary individual race. He missed 3 and still came through to take the win. And a little bit of luck with the starting position, but Bjorndalen was quite happy to admit that it was his skis that played the major role in that. Had them beautifully prepared, and over the last 2 loops he managed to take a minute off Christoph Steffen, which meant that he finished 14 seconds ahead of Steffen, despite the fact that he had an extra 2 minutes added to his time, with 3 misses in total. Of course, Croatia have medalled with Jakov Fak, so the young Croatian will get a start in the mass start on the men's side of things. Well, the history of the mixed pursuit, the mixed relay, I should say, you'll know that it took place in Östersund last year. Germany, Belarus, Russia, the top 3 positions. In Antolz in 2007, the first time that it was included in the World Championship program. Sweden, France, Norway, the top 3 teams. What a day that was for Sweden. They are desperate to regain that title. They put out their strongest team. Not only that, they rested Carl-Johan Bergman from the individual to make sure that he was on form. And of course, with Jonsson and Olofsson taking the first 2 legs, they are in a very, very strong position. Incidentally, Olofsson had the quickest time in yesterday's race. Her shooting let her down slightly, but had she gone clear, or had she shot the same as Kadi Wilhelm, then Olofsson would have come home with the title. Just looking at her finishing time, she finished 4th, of course, just 12 seconds outside a medal, but she had 2 penalties compared to Kadi Wilhelm's 1, and she would have beaten Wilhelm by some 2.5 seconds if that's the way it turned out. And starting behind Wilhelm, I think we would have seen Olofsson ski herself into gold medal if she'd hit just 1 more target. For the first shoot, And the leaders safely round what has been a pretty treacherous corner. Just got a glimpse of the ski testing area in the background with so little natural snow, or no natural snow. It's pretty awkward to provide all the facilities, but they have to have a substantial ski testing area because that plays such a key role. Henkel still keeping the pace going. Slepseva in second for Russia. Jonsson for Sweden. Berger for Norway is up there as well. And they will take the lane that corresponds to their bib number for the first shoot. And nice to hear some cowbells. For the first time, the crowd are starting to get behind the event. It's been eerily quiet throughout most of the individual races, but the crowd enjoying this one. Now, the other thing that's missing is we haven't heard any cheering with the shooting. So, Germany lane 1, Norway 2, Sweden 3, France 4. In lane 5 it's Ukraine, 6 is Belarus, Russia in lane 7, and 8 is Italy. Germany first to strike. Jonsson taking the middle target first, taking her time as well, just making sure. 5 out of 5 for Germany, no spare rounds required. Surely Jonsson will get them down. Yes, she does. Berger gets them down. France get them down. Sweden are clear as well. One mistake for Ukraine, but they get that at the first time of asking with the spare ammunition. The Czech Republic get theirs down eventually, and looking for who else has gone 5 with 5. Belarus 5 with 5. That will put them up into the top 7 positions, and they leave pretty much as they came in. It's Henkel who leads, Jonsson in second. Good shooting from Michaela Ponza of Italy to put them into third, and Tora Berger fourth place. No damage done at the moment. So often the Norwegians find themselves not just trailing but way off the pace after leg number 1. They put Berger in to hold the ship together, and she's done a good job so far. She leaves just 4 or 5 seconds off the pace of Andrea Henkel of Germany. Have a look at the fall of shot. Low left, that was slightly left, but a little bit higher for Henkel. Right over on the right-hand side. Not exactly perfect grouping. A split round to finish. Welcome back to the World Championship Biathlon event here in Pyeongchang. You've missed not too much. The first shoot of the mixed relay has been completed, and as you can see, there's not a lot between the leaders. Germany leading the way with Andrea Henkel, the defending champions. They won it last year using 6 spare rounds. They haven't used any on the first shoot, but Neuner was very much the key for them. So Henkel, Neuner, Arndt Pfeiffer, who we first were introduced to back in Oberhof earlier this year, a youngster coming up through the rankings, and he's proved himself to be a very, very strong relay contender. He takes leg 3, and Mickey Grice, who brought Germany home to victory in Ostersund last year, he gets the anchor leg again, the 3 times Olympic gold medalist. That sounds good. His results here don't sound so good. 7th, 13th, 19th. They're going the wrong way for Mickey Grice. Can he turn it around today and bring Germany home to success? I think Magdalena Neuner might be the key again, but she is not on her very best form. She knows that. The rest of the athletes know that, and so I don't think she intimidates them like she did last year. Henkel looking a little bit better. Jonsson's got herself up there once again. Michaela Ponza going very well for Italy in second place. Tora Berger in third. Jonsson in 4. France hanging in there. Good effort from Marie-Laure Brunet, the youngster. She's only 20, from Antignac, and I think she's going to be a really big star in the future. At 20, she's got another 3 or 4 years before she can hope to be anywhere near her best. And already she's started producing top 10 results in the World Cup. So she's got a big, big future ahead of her. Sylvie Bécard taking leg 2. No Sandrine Bailly, no Martin Fourcade in the French team. That's not a sign that France aren't taking this seriously. It's a sign that Bailly is tired and well below her very best, and Martin Fourcade being rested for later on in the week. He's had a tough program already. He's the younger of the 2 brothers. Simon is in, who's the best of the Frenchmen on the World Cup Tour this year. Henkel safely round. She's opened up a little bit of a gap, and that coming really because Michaela Ponza unable to stay with her. Tora Berger deciding that she needs to do something, putting in quite a lot of speed on the approach. Could be dangerous. Second shoot. Their job is almost done. 2 kilometre loop each time. And I know a few of you wanting to follow the British performances, but I can tell you there is no British team in the mixed relay, and I've been trying to get hold of the British team in Korea, have failed to do so this morning to get an explanation. I've spoken to Bob Anderson, who's one of the suppliers for the British team, and he tells me that it's likely to be because of the fact that they want to pick up Nations Cup points in the specialist relays, the men and the women's relays, and therefore want to save their efforts for that. I have to admit I'm very disappointed with that, and with the results they've had so far, I think they could do with getting into the mix in the mixed relay. But if I do hear anything later on today, I'll let you know when we're back on air on Saturday. So Henkel first to strike as she was in the prone. Ooh, there's the first mistake. So she's thrown away 10 seconds. An opportunity for Sweden. Watch Jonsson's target. She hasn't missed a standing target so far at these championships. 25 out of 25. Will she make it 30 out of 30? Of course she will. Tora Berger clears 5 as well. And Henkel is in a little bit of trouble. Things not going the Germans' way at the moment. Ponza misses 1. Still has to get it down, but she's got 3 spares to do it. She gets it at the first time of asking. Slovakia, with 1 target still remaining, will get themselves into the top 6 if it goes down. They've done that. Good effort from them. And the Italians losing a little bit of time. Berger it is who leads the way out. Mäkkäräinen of Finland's come out of nowhere to claim second place, and she's just 1.1 behind. Jonsson now needs to turn up the screws, because if Sweden want the lead, they've got to get as far clear of Germany as they can, and Russia, of course, on this first leg. No sign of the Russians as yet. They were way off the pace. They missed 2 on the first shoot with Sleptsova, and we'll just pick up on their position in a moment. Tora Berger's getting better and better. Remember, she took a medal, the silver, in the mass start in Östersund last year, and I have a sneaky feeling that Berger is going to do well in that event again over the weekend. Pure concentration. Great rivalry between herself and her brother Lars, who incidentally takes leg number 3 for Norway. Slightly surprised at that selection. The Norwegians have so much joy. Lars is a pretty risky component. He's a potential winner of any individual race if he's shooting well. But in the relay, he just doesn't seem to be able to slow it down and make sure of the targets. Well, here are the positions out in front. There goes Tora Berger. She's been overtaken by Michaela Ponza, who has suddenly come to life this season. I've told you about her ankle problems over the summer. She missed 6 weeks of training. That put her right below her normal level in December, right the way up to Christmas. But once the tour went to Antilt, there were just a few signs that the magic was still there. And she's doing exceptionally well at the moment. So Italy doing well. Norway are up there. Sweden still going excellently, and Anna-Karin Olofsson takes the next leg. Now, if Olofsson can produce her best run of the season, then Sweden will be in a strong position. Leg 3, I think, the key one for them, with David Ekko being brought in after his excellent 5th place in the individual. This is Andrea Henkel's targets. Missed 2, but got them down, avoided the penalty loop. Now, if you're checking out on the minor teams, well, the minor teams, let's not call them minor, those further down the order. We've got France in 6th place, just 17 seconds off the pace, so no real damage done to them. Slovakia are 7th, Poland 8. Good run from Poland so far, ahead of Russia. Sleptsova has not gone well. She's needed 3 rounds to clear her 10 targets, 3 spare rounds, I should say. China in 10, potential winners China certainly, but not on their current performance. Belarus Belarus 11, Ukraine 12, Slovenia 13, Estonia 14, and making up the top 15 we have the Czech Republic. Outside that marker, Kazakhstan, Canada, Japan, USA all the way down in 19th. That's a bitterly disappointing start for them, and the host nation Korea are down in 20th at the moment. You can see on your screen the top 7 positions. I don't need to tell you about them. Maybe a little bit of a surprise to see Finland coming through. Apologies for mistaking Finland for Italy. Same colour suit, more or less. Now that's Italy coming up with Michaela Ponza on the shoulder, wearing bib number 8. Tora Berger is so strong. Finland 3 second advantage initially. Ponza, Haller, De Lorenzi, Vindish. Quite a handy Italian team that we've got here. Berger is such a grafter. That's what's impressed people. Yes, she has her critics when it comes to her skiing technique and her style. She's a little like Hannevold. It works for her, and she's just got the mentality, the ability to push her body harder than most. And it's brought her a lot of success over recent years. What a shame for Norway that Linda Gruben decided to call it a day after she took gold in Antolz 2 years ago, hit the top and immediately retired from the sport. I think she just said, I'm not enjoying the training, I don't look forward to going out anymore, and it's time to find something else to do. You have to respect that decision, but it is a big blow for the Norwegian team, particularly the women, who would be very strong with both Berger and Gruben on the same squad. So away we go. Norway in first position. This is crucial for them. And Istanbul goes next, and she's got a very good prone shooting record, but she's a little dicey when it comes to the standing, so that could be where the Norwegians come unstuck. Finland getting away in second. Away goes Sweden in third. Anna-Karin Olofsson on course for them. Germany, they've only lost 22.7 seconds, 3 misses in all for Henkel. Her skiing has limited the damage. Normally 3 spare rounds would take some 36 seconds to complete. So she's taken 14 seconds off the best teams with her skiing ability and kept Germany very much in the hunt, because Magdalena Neuner is now on course. Watch that margin. Germany are behind 22.7. I suspect it will come down radically over the next 3 or 4 minutes before they come in for the first prone shoot. Russia have not had the best of starts. Svetlana Sleptseva is rusty, 36th and 28th in these championships so far. She now relies on Olga Zaitseva to dig the Russians out of a bit of a hole. Team 15 is Slovenia, with Teja Gregorin handing over to Andrea Marley. Russia 8, Poland 9, China 10 and Slovenia 11 at the first exchange. Very good morning and welcome to Pyeongchang, continuation of the Biathlon World Championships. It's the mixed relay today before they get a day off tomorrow. And there you see the top 4 teams: Norway, Finland, Sweden. Well, Finland aren't Scandinavia, but the Scandinavian team's doing exceptionally well. Simone Hausfeld is now on course for Germany. Neuner being taken out at the very last moment. I've only just heard that, and I wonder what that is all about. Maybe Neuner not feeling 100%, but Hausfeld, of course, half Korean, so another big moment for her. She, of course, got the silver in the opening day of these championships, and that was a big boost for Germany and for Hausfeld, who has been thinking about this moment ever since Pyeongchang were awarded the World Championships. And my goodness, did she produce the goods on the day when it mattered, under the greatest of pressure. A huge respect to her for that. Now, That is team 13 going through, and from anything more than 5 yards it looks like team number 8, hence the confusion a bit earlier on. Italy are team 8, team 13 in second place are the Finns. Mäkäräinen with an excellent first leg, and now Mari Laukkanen is on course. The Finns haven't got a medal so far. Mäkäräinen, I think, is their best chance. Hesitate to say their only chance, because Purinen is back in action for the men's team, but he's not at his medal-winning form that we saw back in 2001. Red suit, pink boots. Not sure what the fashion moguls would say about that, but they work pretty well for Tora Berger. Now, if you're just starting cross-country skiing, the two items that you don't want to scrimp and save on are the boots and the poles. Nice firm boots make skating so much easier, and they have come on leaps and bounds over recent years. Stangbjorg still looking fairly comfortable at the moment, and she's not pushed the pace, certainly took the climb nice and steady. Well, are we going to see a big split? We've seen some very exciting relays. We've seen some incredibly tight pursuits and mass starts this season, particularly in Antolz. I think that was probably the best series of races that we've ever seen. The last round of the World Cup prior to the World Championships. Now, just watch the lungs. Here's the danger woman for Sweden, Anna-Karin Olofsson. Now, Anna-Karin has been skiing better every week we've seen her on this tour. Can she get her first medal since giving birth in the summer? Of course, a disappointment last year in Östersund. Olofsson was already 4 months pregnant and just had to withdraw from the racing. She just couldn't do it. Good start for Stangbjorg. Her prone record is superb. Well, just as I say that, she throws one wide. She'd got a 94% hit rate, one of the best on the tour. Sweden's still clear. Olofsson is taking it steady. France have shot through that. Sylvie Bekar rattling down the targets. And France, Finland and Sweden will come out side by side. Or Stangbjorg takes 2 spare rounds to get the target down. So some 15-20 seconds given away by Norway. But they are still in touch. And now Stangbjorg has got to ski hard to get back in touch with that group in front of her, and that might just damage her chances of hitting the standing targets. Hausfeld of Germany with 2 misses, Italy with 1, but no penalty loops incurred so far. The easiest wind conditions that we've seen in these championships. There's still a breeze, but it's not gusting like it was on days 1, 2 and 3 that caused mayhem with some of the best marksmen in the world. "43 seconds now separating the top 7. At the halfway stage, if you're still within a minute, you can still believe that you can win it. Russia are going to be right on that margin. A lot of work for Zaitsever to do. So there you see the top 9 positions, a minute between the top 9. Russia just squeezing in, 58.8, 4 misses already. Still no penalty loops by the top teams. This is Stangbjorg. There's the miss, way over to the low left. Slightly strange, considering she was moving from right to left. Normally, that would mean that you miss on the right-hand side, but I think maybe just rushing the last shot. Is it going to be France's day? I think they could do very well. De Fraat and Forcada taking legs 3 and 4 for them. Norway, as I mentioned earlier, Larsberger, Ole-Einar Bjorndalen, the 2 quickest skiers on the men's tour, take the last 2 legs for Norway. Bjorndalen, well, we know all about him. 3 golds already. Is he going for the full set? Is he going for 5 out of... Well, he could get 6 out of 6. The mass start, the men's relay and the mixed relay still to be decided. He's got the sprint, the pursuit and the individual in the bag. And I think he said, well, the World Championships were my main aim. This is where I wanted to be on form. He's not so concerned about the overall World Cup. He's won that so many times already. But I think if he comes away from Pyeongchang with a huge lead, then it's going to be tempting to focus on the overall World Cup for the year. But I can tell you one thing, he will sit down as soon as these championships are over and he will discuss how to be on this sort of form for the Olympics next year. That is his next big priority. Through 2.9, remember it's a 2-kilometre loop in between each shoot to make up the 6 kilometres for the women. The men putting in an extra 500 metres on each loop. The skiing times will be roughly the same. And in fact, we'll just take a note of the halfway time for this race. The winning time in Östersund last year, 1 hour, 12 minutes, 20.5 from Germany. And that was with 6 missed targets, 5 of them coming in the standing position. Well, Karin Olofsson has plenty of support out on the tracks and she seems to be skiing pretty steady. I know she's got a lot more in the bag than this. I think she's saving something for the last 2Ks. If she can clear the standing targets, which is something she's really struggled with this year, I think we'll see her open up a 10-15 second gap. Ekko there certainly hopes that that is the case. My goodness, does he look anxious. I think Sweden know that this is another chance for a medal. They came here just with the aim of winning a medal of some colour, and they've already got the gold with Jonsson in the women's pursuit. It would go down as their best championships ever if they got another gold today. Of course, they got the Olympic gold with Olofsson in the mass start back in 2006 on those tracks up at San Sicario. Now, big moment for Olofsson. Looking at her shooting record for the year, actually 80% and 80%, but it's the crucial times when she's been in with a chance of winning. That is when it's gone wrong in the stand position. Most of these men and women racing today can hit 98, 99, even 100 out of 100 in training. The race situation makes it 100% harder. Sweden and France both going exceptionally well so far today. Incidentally, if you've just joined us, do get in touch on the email address that we're using throughout the championships, biathlon.eurosport@yahoo.co.uk or yahoo.com. Both will work. And let us know what you feel about the mixed relay. I guess that's the discussion point today. Only the 3rd time that it's been included in the World Championship programme for real. Advantage France. Ooh, I think they thought they had it. I think Pekka thought she'd got it down. So France and Sweden now level. We've got Finland and Norway, who have both missed early on. Down goes number 5 for France. Can Karin Olofsson clear it? Yes, she can. So Sweden stay in there. Now, this is when we expect to see Olofsson turn up the speed, but she will be tired. She produced the quickest time on the tracks yesterday to outski Kari Wilhelm by some 3 seconds. Norway are in trouble, and it's Anna Ishtangbjorg, 76% hit rate in the stand position. She has 2 targets remaining, and for the first time, someone is in danger of going on the penalty loop, and that would make Berger and Bjorndal's task that much harder. Italy clear the targets, only one spare required. Again, Russia struggling. Zaitseva this time, who's struggling with the standing. She's missed 2 already. She has 2, now 1 target remaining. Last shot for Norway. If this goes wide, they're on the penalty loop. Oh, that's a disaster, an absolute disaster. They've gone from being 10 seconds behind, they're now 50 plus another 30 because they've got that penalty loop of 150 metres. That could be Norway's chance of gold. Good news though for France, Sweden, Finland, the leading 3 teams. Germany still very, very dangerous in 4th, the defending champions who have Arndt Pfeiffer and Mickey Grice still to ski. Haller of Italy just 38 seconds behind. Well, the French will be delighted, and I think they'll start to think in terms of medals. Will they dare think of the gold medal? Well, with Vincent Defrain, who you know has taken gold at the Olympics before, and Simon Foucault, who has got much, much better. One of the best performances at these championships so far. Simon Foucault with a 6th, a 10th and a 4th. That was the missed target and slightly rushed. Position broken probably before the round hit the end of the barrel. But the last one was smack in the middle, would have hit a prone target without any trouble whatsoever. Well, there you see the power of Olofsson. She goes straight through. Now it's up to Sylvie Bacard to hang on. Really dig so deep. Bacard lives in the older part of Annecy, absolutely stunning area in France, and if you're into sport and you want to take it seriously, it's the ideal place to be. Now, can Olofsson break the French here? She needs to get a lead. Give the 2 Swedes who still have to ski. David Ekholm is next for Sweden. Carl-Johan Bergman on the last leg. Bergman wasn't feeling 100% before the start of the individual and therefore didn't race. Bjorn Ferry also ill, otherwise I think we would have seen him on the 3rd leg. But David Ekholm, he had a good race 2 days ago in the individual, finished 5th, but that was largely on the back of some excellent shooting, hitting 19 out of 20 in some pretty gusty conditions. What is the margin for the Finns? Doing much better than expected today. Laukkanen goes through in 3rd, just 19 seconds down, and now it is up to Puranen and Timo Anttila, who take legs 3 and 4 for Finland. Germany are still dangerously positioned, just outside the 30-second marker. Hausfeld has dug deep. Well, as we watch them coming round to the second exchange, my thanks to Scott, who's emailed to say that Hausfeld has come in as a late replacement. Yes, we did just pick up on that, but the race had pretty much started, and still waiting to hear some news as to why Neuner isn't racing today. I can only assume that she's not feeling 100% because remember, she was part of the team that won the gold medal in Östersund last year, and she would be desperate to get herself some medals. The championship's not going so well for Neuner. 8th and 11th, and then of course she didn't race in the individual yesterday. Well, that's pretty much the way it went in Östersund last season, but then she came through to win the last 3 golds, so she went home with having pushed her tally up to 6 gold medals. But today she's not included. Hausfeld is in there, lying in 4th position. Arndt Pfeiffer will really relish the challenge that is coming his way in around 3 minutes time. He takes leg 3 for Germany. He'll be chasing 3 of the outsiders. He's got Sweden to chase down, France to chase down, and of course the Finns are up there in the top 3 positions as well. Well, what a finish from Sylvie Bacard. Great skiing from her, and away goes Vincent Defrain of France, looking for his first medal and his first really good performance of the season. This would be the day to pull it out of the bag, and although many still scoff at the mixed relay, I can tell you what, when they win it, it means more than anything. And the bond, the team spirit that is produced from this mixed relay is quite astonishing, and that's why I think it should should be continue to be part of the World Championship programme. So Germany get away in 4. How much work have they got to do? 47 seconds. They've lost ground to France. Sylvie Picard has produced her best ski of the season so far, particularly to overtake Olofsson, who may have gone off a little bit quickly after that last shoot. Faded in the last 500 metres. Number 5 are Russia, starting to get closer in position, but not in time. They were 58 seconds behind halfway through the second leg. They're now 1 minute behind, and a lot of work to do for the Russians. Sherazov and Shudov take legs 3 and 4 for them. The mixed relay coming to an exciting conclusion here in Pyeongchang. The what is it? The 7th race of these championships so far, and the first of the relays. And it is France leading. France desperately needing something to cheer about, and there'll be 1 or 2 happy faces in the biathlon world to see Vincent de Frein 12 seconds ahead of Sweden, who won the title 2 years ago. Don't give up on Sweden quite yet, because Carl-Johan Bergman, who was saved from yesterday's individual, or 2 days ago, didn't race 2 days ago, he's been gearing everything towards this mixed relay. They desperately want this gold medal, and they're in a strong position to achieve it in second. Third is Finland, Paavo Purinen going through. Germany starting to close down. Arndt Pfeiffer now just 39 seconds behind. Russia were in 5th at the last time we saw them, 1 minute exactly off the leading time. This will give us good indication of just how fast de Frein is pushing it at the front of the field, and an indication of how hard Sherazov is going for Russia. Well, he's closed down a little bit, and he's taking China and Italy with him. Zhang of China, well, he's a lightning quick skier when he's on form, Zhang. We haven't seen too much of him this year. And then the Italians are always dangerous in the relay scenario, particularly in cross-country races, because if they get within 5 meters of you, they just won't let you go. And De Lorenzi and Vindish both have that fighting quality that could possibly bring Italy a medal today. Well, I wonder which way you feel this is going to go. Coming up to the first shoot on the third leg in the prone position. As you can see, there is some breeze, but it is nothing like it's been so far this week. And the French built their reputation on good shooting. David Ekko for Sweden, I think he'll be fairly confident. 19 hits out of 20 on a very difficult day in the individual 2 days ago, and that really got him his position in the mixed relay team. Well, that's a bad start for Vincent de Frein. He's not hanging around. He's obviously decided to shoot at his normal speed, and he has paid the price. 2 misses, and the wind really can't be blamed for that. Ekko with an opportunity to get Sweden back into the lead. Is he going to achieve that? They had a sniff of it on the last leg with Anna-Karin Olofsson, and he's going to be, what, just a couple of seconds clear. A quick check of the targets to make sure, and the reason he's done that is because Christoph Suman left the range thinking he didn't have any penalties, went straight back onto the tracks, and then found that he had incurred penalties and was disqualified from the sprint event, so he missed out on the pursuit as well. Vincent de Frein is clear. Finland clear the targets. Purinen taking it steady. No mistakes from Pfeiffer. No real changes in the top 4. Watch the time margins though. Germany were 39 seconds behind. I think they'll be a little bit closer. This is the chasing group. China, Italy, Russia, side by side, and Zhang of China clears all the prone targets and keeps them in the running for a possible medal. Well, that would be a big move. Maybe China is the place that the next Asian venue for the Biathlon World Championships. 1 or 2 comments coming in saying, why are they holding it in Korea when they don't really have any biathletes, and they certainly don't have the number of fans that they have in Europe. Well, if your sport's going to expand, you have to bring the major championships to countries like this. And the Koreans, considering the lack of experience, have done exceptionally well. And their volunteers are second to none. No, they don't have the knowledge and the experience, but my goodness, they'll put the hours in to make sure that everything works. And they need a lot of credit for that. David Ekkom's targets all falling, just as Stefan Ekland would have wanted. Vincent Defrain quick to close down that gap, and these two are taking things pretty steady. They need to be careful because Germany and Finland are closing down. Interesting email from Carolyn Williams wanting to know about the drug testing that was going on. Sorry to bring it up again, just inquiring why it took so long to get the B samples tested from the Russians earlier in the season. Of course, the offence alleged to have taken place in Östersund some 3 months ago. Well, I can only assume, Carolyn, that the reason is that they were using new technology, and that always takes time. They wanted to make sure it was right. They won't even tell us what the drug is, and they certainly won't tell us how they managed to test for it, because I guess the testers just trying to stay one step ahead of the abusers. And I suspect that it was the new technology that took the time, as opposed to anything else. Slightly warmer day today, positive temperatures throughout. The temperature is now starting to drop, so I think the last leg will get a little bit quicker as the night draws in. Full floodlights on at the moment. No real difference in the skiing. You just get the sensation that you're skiing faster when you're under floodlights, which is great. But technically, no harder. Obviously, the transition from warm to cold conditions does mean that there's a little more ice on the surface, so you can just about hear it now as it starts to crackle as they go around the corners. Frank Ulrich, the coach for the German men's team, he looks mighty anxious at the moment, and I think the Germans also know that this is their best chance for a gold medal in an event that involves the men. The women are doing spectacularly well with 2 gold medals from Kadi Wilhelm. Well, she'll be wanting to get that haul in, because Kadi Wilhelm, as many of you will know, has declared that she's going to retire at the end of next season. But she wants to do, her latest statement is she wants to do just as well in the Olympics as she's done here. I think it might be a little bit harder. A year on, it's very difficult to get 2 successive performances like that. She's already got 2 golds, 1 silver. She's not racing today, but she will be back in action in the mass start, and there is no way that they'll leave Kadi Wilhelm out of the women's relay. So she's still got a possibility of taking a haul of 4 gold medals plus the silver that she got in the pursuit. 18.2. Pfeiffer's done well for Germany to pull it back to just 18 seconds from 39. So a good 21 seconds clawed back in the first 3.8 kilometers. And I think the chasing team Zhang is also closing down. He was a minute behind. He's taken 22 seconds out of Vincent Defrain. So France and Sweden need to be a little bit careful. Well, it's all going to come down to the shooting on this third leg. The standing position. Vincent Defrain has a record of 80%, so that would suggest that he's going to miss at least 1 in the stand, but he should be able to get that down at the first time of asking with the spare rounds of ammunition. And then, of course, Sweden with David Ekko. It's a slightly different story. 67% hit rate in the stand for Ekko. He's very good at the prone and has been all the way through his career. But the stand, he's never quite mastered. He needs to have a word with Helena Jonsson, who is the best in the world, men and women's. So, last few moments, and still the pace is slow at the front. I think there's something tactical going on here. They know that the key is to shoot clear. Stefan Ekland sends the message out onto the course that his man has arrived, and I dare say he'll tell them which lane he's on, because the rest of the Swedish team out on the tracks ready to support for the next 10 kilometers or so. Sweden versus France. Germany back into third position, ahead now of Finland. Quick strike for Vincent Defrain. Difficult shot for... Oh, excellent shot from Ekko. I thought that was going to be tough, because he will have been aware that the French were clear, and the pressure is now on Germany, and a mistake from Pfeiffer. We've seen him crack in individual races. Will he be able to hold his nerve in the relay? Finland have missed as well, so that's another 10 seconds thrown away. This is an important one for Pfeiffer. Finland are clear, back into third. Oh, he's thrown it wide, and I think there'll be a grimace from Mickey Grice in the stadium, because he is next to go on the anchor leg for Germany, and if they want gold, they need to be within 30 seconds. Grice doesn't want to have to work too hard on the first two skiing phases over that first 5 kilometers. Italy starting to fall apart now. Christian De Lorenzi. Zhang of China, same old story. Very fast, very good in the prone, shaky in the stand. Sherazov for Russia. 2 spares required. Norway we haven't seen for a while. Here is Lars Berger going through the targets. He's hit 3 out of 4 so far, 4 out of 5. That's good from Berger. And if Norway are within a minute 20, I think by the time the last leg starts, they'll still think they've got a chance. But Norway fading away at the start. I'll try and update you on what went wrong with them. Shoot number 5, which was the first in this third leg. Norway were 1:35 behind, and as you can see, they're not going to have improved on that position. It all started to go wrong for Ingstadbjorg, I should say, of Norway on leg number 2. They finished the second leg down in 10th position. That penalty loop costing them severely. They were 150, they're back to 135, but they do have Ole Einar Bjorndalen on the last leg. However, with Sweden going exceptionally well, and David Ekholm, I think he's even surprised the coach, Stefan Ekland. Well, that's a great run from Ekholm, and it puts a bit of pressure back on to Carl-Johan Bergman, who takes the last leg. It's going to be Bergman against Forcada. Simon Forcada has been going very well. 3 results in these championships in the top 10, and that takes some doing. 6th, 10th and 4th. Carl-Johan Bergman hasn't raced in all the races, so I think many would think the advantage was to France at the moment. Puranen still 17 seconds behind. 2 misses from Pfeiffer of Germany leave him 20 seconds behind, and starting... Well, he looks as though he's tiring, but he's in the same ilk as Hannevold and Tora Berger, those athletes who can just work an extra couple of % harder. They will push their bodies into a state of agony just to gain back a couple of seconds, and I think we'll see that from Pfeiffer over the last kilometre or so. 7.5 Ks the distance for each leg. De Lorenzi of Italy just ahead of Russia, some 13 seconds clear, but still down in 5th. And there is Sherazov looking like a bag of rags. He has lost the form and he's exhausted at the moment. Sherazov working hard on the first 2 loops, but he could lose himself another 10 seconds in the closing stages of leg number 3. Russia now 57 seconds behind. Maxim Shudov on the last leg for them. Shudov denied the gold medal in the pursuit with the reversal of the jury's decision on that disqualification of Bjorndalen. I have to say I was impressed. I got a couple of emails from Norway yesterday saying that they were a little embarrassed that Bjorndalen had been reinstated. Whatever the situation, rules are rules, they say. So France versus Sweden. This has been an excellent duel so far, and I think the very fact that there are two teams up there is getting a little bit more out of them. Here goes Pfeiffer. I told you he'd turn up the screws, even though he was looking a little bit tired, and he's closed the gap to 13 seconds. I wouldn't put it beyond him, closing that down to 3 or 4 seconds by the end of this run. He's picked his mark. He's decided the steep hill was the place to explode, and he's done it. Look, he's just in the background, lurking dangerously. Germany looking to defend the title. Mickey Grice on the last leg for them, who won the title, the overall title, 2 years ago. Grice very poor at the beginning of last season, but by early January he was on form, and then he faded a little in the World Championships. This season his form still slightly below par, although he did win the very first race. I still don't think he hit his best skiing form until Christmas. But a 7th, a 13th and a 19th in the 3 races so far would not indicate that Mickey Grice is on his very best form. But he's going to need to be today, because France and Sweden lead him. It's France who will leave first. Simon Foucault hoping to bring them the gold medal, if not the gold, a medal of some colour. Sweden go in second, Germany in third, and look at that, from 17 seconds, in fact from 20 seconds, Pfeiffer has closed the gap to just 4.5. What an excellent bit of work, and I think he might well have got himself a place in the German relay team with that effort. Excellent stuff. Finland in 4, 12.4, and this is as tight we've ever seen in the mixed relay. Italy desperately trying to close down. De Lorenzi had problems with the shooting, but he's limited the gap to just under 40 seconds. Good work from him. A medal still very much a possibility for Finland. Marcus Findish, 21st in the World Cup standings. Doesn't have the best shooting record on the tour this year, Vindish, but maybe he'll rise to the occasion. Russia have lots of work to do, still that minute behind. They've been hovering between 57 seconds and the 1 minute marker. They've overtaken China to move up into 6th. But Russia will not be happy with the way things are going at the moment. Norway on their way in, and it's Ole Einar Bjorndalen who this time has a massive task. How deep is he going to dig this time to get Norway back up around the medals? Well, he's over a minute behind the leaders. He's over a minute behind bronze medal position. That is the problem for Norway. So Bjorndalen has got to be on sensational form. He's got to close some 30 seconds on each 2.5 kilometre loop. Surely, even he can't do that. The top 11 teams are all through the third exchange on the mixed relay here in Pyeongchang at the Biathlon World Championships, and a slightly unusual order. France, Sweden, Germany are the top 3 teams, but do remember France took the silver medal in Antolz 2 years ago. Sweden took the gold, and that had Norway down in 3rd position. There's still a possibility that that might be the very same order as we have at the end of today. Germany, the reigning champions, are in bronze medal position at the moment. Russia are all the way down in 6th, and the silver medalists from last year in Östersund, Belarus, are down in 8th, some 1 minute 52 seconds off the pace, and they've only just gone through the exchange with 1 leg still to race. Nice skiing from Foucault at the front. He sets the pace. Carl-Johan Bergman, big, tall, bald, but very, very powerful athlete indeed. Mickey Grice at the back. Now, what will Grice's tactics be? Will he try and impose his authority on the leading 2? Will he try and unnerve them by moving ahead? Not as yet. Just being patient. I think he's certainly got the strength to go through. Foucault, I don't think he'll be able to believe the situation that he's found himself in. Leading the way in the mixed relay. He's got to be careful because Finland are not so far behind. Still just 15 seconds, and Timo Anttila has got to produce the race of his season if he wants to bring Finland home in a medal position. Well, I think the way things are going and the quality of athletes we have out there, Finland are not going to ski themselves to victory. They've got to shoot themselves to victory. And the chances of one of these leading three teams making mistakes or even freezing on the firing point is certainly significant. Unlikely to happen in the prone. It's the last standing shoot where the nerves can get the better of you. Most famously, that happened to Raphael Poiré in Oberhof, his most successful ever World Championships. Lots of records being set here this week. Bjorndalen now the only man to have won world titles in all the disciplines: the relay, the individual, the sprint, the pursuit, and of course the mass start. And it was the individual victory that brought him that record. Raphael Poiré, the only man who's won in 3 disciplines. Everyone else, the likes of Fischer, has won in 2. Slightly surprised to read that. So France going in lane 1, Bergman for Sweden in 2, Mickey Grice in lane 3. Their records so far this year: Mickey Grice 90% in the prone, Forcada 81% in the prone, and Sweden's Bergman 89. So on that information, it should be Grice and Bergman, but Grice has thrown his second shot wide. Oh, fantastic shooting from Simon Forcada, and he is matched by Carl-Johan Bergman. Now Mickey Grice must get this down. It's not been a quick reload from the German, and the work done by Pfeiffer on the last leg has been thrown away. The margin is going to be up around 9-10 seconds, and now Grice has no choice but to ski hard to get back in contact before the final shoot of the mixed relay. Things starting to fall apart for Timo Anttila. Medal hopes are disappearing over the horizon, and there's a chance for Russia to come through if Shudov can rattle these 5 down. He's taking his time to prepare, but once he gets going, I think he'll be reasonably quick. Bad mistakes from Vindish of Italy, skiing too hard. A mistake from Russia. Now, Olaina Bjorndalen has settled. He was 1 minute, 18 seconds off the leaders. Rare miss from Bjorndalen, has no choice but to rush it. Russia are going to come out in 5th. Bjorndalen's breathing hard. He's certainly skiing well now. 1 minute 15. I don't think he's done much to close down on the leaders, and that one missed target has proved very, very costly indeed. The shooting record needs to be good. I can tell you that Sweden have only used 1 spare round all the way through the race so far. That is with 35 of the 40 targets hit. So an excellent record, and they deserve a medal on that information alone. France have used 4. The Germans have required 7, but they haven't done any penalty loops, and the Finns the second best shooting record so far today with just 2 targets. In fact, they missed again with Timo Anttila, so they've missed a couple more now. They've moved up to 4 misses, but Sweden's quite remarkable with only 1 spare round required, so only 10 seconds thrown away. But still, it is France who lead. Simon Forcada. They're taking it easy at the front, and Germany are starting to close again. The 3rd man has been lapped. Just trying to pick out which of the teams. Looks like Team 18, which is Kazakhstan. That's the Kazakhstan colours as well, so we'll confirm that, but some way to go. Korea at the back of the field as well. Munjo, Lee and Jun really just here for experience. They'll have enjoyed competing on home snow. So nervous moments for all the teams, but particularly the 2 leaders, France and Sweden, who haven't been more than 5 metres apart for the last 35 minutes. It's been an astonishing run. Great shooting from Sylvie Bacard for France to get them up into the lead. Olofsson did exceptionally well in the standing position. That's where she's been a little bit shaky when under pressure this year. David Ekko was outstanding on the third leg for Sweden to keep them up there with the French, and they've held and they've held and they've held, but Germany are getting closer and closer and closer, and it's Mickey Grice who's come through. Bjorn Dahlen started 1:15. He is only 5 seconds closer, but he's getting closer to the top 3 as the gap between Germany and Finland has grown now to 48 seconds. So Norway, I think, will be thinking realistically in terms of finishing 4th, which still is not good enough by their own standards. But their history in relays is not good. They last won a women's relay back in 2004. That was in Oberhof with when Liv Greta Poiré was on such wonderful form. Oh, and the lead is going to change. And a burst coming in from Mickey Grice. Can he get past Fokada? I'm not sure he can. I'm not sure he can. He put in a huge burst to go past Carl-Johan Bergman. Is he now paying the price? It's a cruel hill. Many of the athletes saying they've never, ever seen courses like this. The uphills are so steep, the downhills are so fast, and of course the snow conditions somewhat unusual, particularly after the affairs of the Friday prior to racing. Plus 16, heavy rain, strong winds of 40 kilometres an hour, and all the fresh snow they had vanished overnight. Just what you don't want if you're in charge of the organisation. But I think it's worth saying again, they got 600 volunteers in the space of an hour to come in and transport all the snow from the hangar that they'd stored it in to lay it out and have the track prepared for the next morning. They did a brilliant job. I know the downhills were difficult and technical, but you have to give the Koreans credit for what they achieved in one night. So the crunch moment in the mixed relay. The top 3 teams are separated by just 2 ski lengths. It's Germany now ahead of Sweden, and France have gone from 1st to 3rd, but it doesn't matter. This is all about the strength of mind. They all know what's at stake here. One miss could mean that the gold is turned into bronze, or maybe even worse. Anyone who misses twice is going to have to ski like a whippet if they're going to get themselves back in contention. I think of these 3, Mickey Grice is the only man who's strong enough to make up for missed targets. But he's already gained ground on the first loop. He's had to work hard to pull back time on the second loop. He was 14 seconds behind, so he's gained 14 seconds on the last loop. Can he do it a third time of asking? Well, when there's a gold medal at the end, maybe he can. Big moment for Fokada, the biggest of his career so far. Who's first to strike? It's the French. Carl-Johan Bergman working from left to right, throws one wide. All 3 have thrown one wide now. Mickey Grice is rushing, paying the price for skiing too hard. 2 misses for France, Sweden and Germany, and this is good news for the chasing teams. America just going out there a lap behind. Don't worry too much about them. 2 targets left for Germany, and they've missed 3, so it's advantage France. Bergman gets away as well. Now Mickey Grice is under real pressure. He has to get this last target. Remember, he took 14 seconds off the leading teams on the last loop. He's going to have to do it again, but he needs the last target first. He's got it. The race is on. The gold medal is not decided quite yet. Watch the grimace on his face. He will work as hard as anyone out there. But the question is, what have Fokada and Bergman say for the last loop? They're both good. Are they good enough to hold off Germany, the defending champions? Norway looking for 4th. I think that's the best they can hope for now in a good battle with Finland and Russia. Bjorn Dahlen forced mistakes because of the way he's had to ski over the last 2.5 kilometres. Huge respect to Bjorn Dahlen for entering today's race, but he wants medals just like anyone else, and he has to have the choice whether he wants to race or not. And I think he's on such good form, he thought he might as well take advantage of it. Now, what is the situation out on the track? Well, there's a lot of movement. The French teams are trying to get to the steepest hill. There you see Wolfgang Pickler for Sweden. Sweden now in second place, trying to egg on Carl-Johan Bergman. Forcada looking nice and light on his feet as he makes the climb out of the stadium. They have got to keep the pressure on. If they give Mickey Grice just a sniff of a chance at taking the gold, he will be in there. Remember what Pfeiffer did on the last loop. France, I think, assured their first medal, but the colour is far from certain at the moment. 1.6 seconds separating France and Sweden. Germany 16.2 behind when they came out of the range. We'll get another update at around 5.7 kilometres, I hope, and we'll certainly get one at 6.3 with just 1,200 metres to go. Number 4, France are leading. Don't take too much attention. That's the Americans, who are 2,500 metres behind. Russell Courier for the USA. The Americans made mistakes on the first leg. They've picked a weakened team, to be honest. Their emphasis going on the men and the women's relay as opposed to this mixed relay. And I think that's a shame, because this relay is really designed for those teams who don't have 4 or 5 world or top-class athletes. Sweden have lost 3 seconds over the first few hundred metres. Now, that may sound good if you're French, but I can tell you that it is a dangerous tactic. How many times have we seen people lose having gone too fast from the range, getting excited with the first shoot and then just losing ground? But that's a significant margin now. That looks more like 5 or 6 seconds that Forcada has got ahead of Sweden, the champions from 2 years ago. Germany were 14.5, and Mickey Grice as yet has not made up any ground. 6.3 is our next checkpoint, where we'll get an update. Let's just have another look at Simon Forcada. He's done wonderful work so far, backing up the effort from Brunet, Bécard, Defrin, who took the first 3 legs. And Simon Forcada, the 24-year-old, his hero, Raphael Poiret. Well, I guess Poiret will be watching and hoping that at last France are going to have some fortune. Courier going exceptionally well to stay ahead of Forcada. There goes the change, and look at the gap now. Which way do you see this going? It was just 1.5 seconds, built to 4.5, and it looks as though Forcada has got himself something like a 10-second margin, and Sweden are now in danger in the silver medal position, because Mickey Grice is turning it on again. 1,200 metres to go, 8.3 behind for Bergman. He's got to turn on those turbochargers if he wants to get the gold medal today, because Grice is closing from 17. He's now just 14 seconds behind, and he saved his effort for the last kilometre. France favourites at the moment. The biggest, the steepest of the climbs has been completed. 7.5 kilometres the total distance. Forcada still looking very fresh. Very good technique indeed. Beautifully smooth. 4-time junior world champion. We knew he was good at that stage, and in fact he was excellent in Östersund both last year at the World Championships, and he was on very good form in Östersund, got himself on the podium in Östersund in the first World Cup of the season. So don't be too surprised that he's out skiing Carl-Johan Bergman. He's a real star, and at last the French have something to celebrate. In he comes. All the hard work is done. Have Sweden done enough to hold on to the silver medal? We'll get an indication in the moment. I think Carl-Johan Bergman has just about held off Mickey Grice, but it is gold to France. Their first bit of glory for the season. Well done to them. Brunet and Bécard did the women's legs. Defrin and Forcada the second. Sweden gets second, their second medal of the championships. The gold went to the Helena Jonsson in the pursuit. Now they have a silver medal in the mixed relay, and they'll be delighted with that. Of course they would have liked the gold, but they know just how good the other teams are. And Germany get the bronze medal, the first medal, in fact not the first medal, because Christoph Steffen got the silver medal in the men's pursuit. So their second medal with men involved. Their women, of course, with Kari Wilhelm, have been on dominant form. Bjorn Dahlen started 1:15. He's once again produced the fastest leg of the relay, but this time he was given too much work to do. It all went wrong on leg 2. Larsberger, well, he tried and he tried, but he missed. And that's the result. Will Berger get a start in the men's team? Let me know what you think on our email address, biathlon.eurosport@yahoo.co.uk. Russia 5, 109. Never got any closer, but slowly climbed the ladder. In the end, finishing just ahead of Finland, who started so well. And in fact, at the start of the last leg, Finland still in bronze medal position ahead of Germany. But Timo Anttila losing ground and losing 3 places. 1:13 the margin in the end. Marcus Findish of Italy comes in 7th, and a great run from Poland, finishing in 8th place today, ahead of some of the big nations like Ukraine and Belarus. Well, France took a medal in 2006 in Pyeongchang in the mixed relay. They got the bronze medal there. They got the silver medal in Antolz in 2007 in the mixed relay World Championship event. Today, they've gone one better. They are the world champions. Sweden, silver medal. Well, you can see from their faces how happy they are with that. I think all credit, or a lot of credit, firstly goes to Helena Jonsson on the first leg. Olofsson missed a couple of targets, but skied very well to keep them in second. And then David Ekko, for me, was the star. That was always going to be an anxious moment. Ekko only ranked 57th in the world, but he put in an exceptional time, proving that his performance in the individual, where he finished 5th, was no fluke. And I think on his performances here, David Ekko might just get a start in the mass start as well, because they do look at the points won at the World Championships. Top 15 from the World Cup standings, and then the top 9 or 10 performers from the World Championships getting automatic starts. We'll confirm that when the race is on. Well, a much better atmosphere in the stadium today, thanks to those guys. Very colourful band that have been doing their bit all the way through today's race. Korea nowhere to be seen. They were bringing up the rear, as expected. 4 very young athletes out there on the tracks. And other nations coming across. Slovenia, as you can see, getting 12th place, 3:29 behind. That's roughly 1,500 metres, maybe 1,400 metres, the difference between first place and 12th at the moment. Estonia getting 13. China and Kazakhstan 14-15. The Chinese were still going pretty well on the third leg. Zhang was right up there. The Chinese women doing well. We didn't give them too much of a mention, but they are an outstanding team and have a huge amount of potential. Xingyang Liu and Shunli Wang taking legs 1 and 2 for China. Sylvie Bicard delighted with the way things have gone for her. Nice to see her being congratulated by the Norwegian team. And I think that might just be the ticket that the French needed. And well, great stuff. Alexander Ross straight over there to congratulate the 2 Frenchmen, Vincent Defray and Simon Fourcade. I think they know that the French are much better than they've been this season. And the team spirit really has been the problem. Lots of complaints about the equipment. I dare say they have had problems, but once it gets into your mind, it can destroy your performances. This gold medal today might turn everything around. We might see more medals from France in these championships, with 2 days of racing still to go. A day off tomorrow, the mass starts and the relays taking place on Saturday and Sunday. I hope you'll tune in for that. And of course, we'll have all the coverage live early morning, but we will be here. So that just about wraps up our coverage for today from the Biathlon World Championships in Korea. An excellent performance by France, held their nerve and skied exceptionally well, particularly Simon Fourcade. But don't forget the first two legs. Marie-Laure Brunet, she's only 20, brilliant junior. She's shone at senior level now. She has a gold medal to hang around her neck. Sylvie Bacard on the second leg for France, handed over to Vincent Defrain, who has done nothing this season. 40th, 41st, 21st at these championships. Some were questioning his inclusion, but he really came to the top. There he is, wearing 4-3 on his back. He is now a gold medalist from the championships. Sweden with their second medal of the races here in Korea, so they'll be delighted. Germany, well, they've lost the title that they won 12 months ago, but that could partly be due to the fact that Neuner had to withdraw at the very last minute. Simone Hausfeld being brought in, the silver medalist from the sprint event, brought in with only minutes notice. Of course they have an athlete ready to go, and Hausfeld knew she was the replacement, but when it's that late in the day, you really don't believe that you're going to be involved. But she was, and she did pretty well to keep them in the running. A nervous moment for Mickey Grice with 2 misses on that last target, but by that stage he'd built enough of a lead over the rest of the teams to ensure that he won a medal, and he certainly closed down 9-10 seconds on the last loop, but he just gave away too much on that final shoot to be able to challenge for the gold or the silver. USA 18th on the day. Their quartet made up by Caroline Tracy Bramont, Laura Spector, Jeremy Thieler, Tim Russell, Tim Burke not included, the Barnes twins not included either. So a B team for the USA today, saving their efforts for the men and women's relays, as have been the British team. Disappointing not to see the British out there today, but as I say, if I hear any other reason why they've withdrawn, I'll let you know. But we leave Korea with France, the new world champions, in the mixed relay.